Hey everybody, it's ArmagideonTime here to finally answer your Q&A questions that you've been dying on the inside a little bit to finally ask me. I'm sure that most of you have been, just clamoring at the bit, just chomping at the nerve. Wait, I think I got those two things screwed up. To ask me some just whatever questions. So I have the list right here on my screen. So occasionally you might be seeing me doing this. Take that motion as you will. So why don't we get things started? There's a lot of questions, so I don't know how long this is going to end up being. I've only looked at a couple of the entries, and I decided after that I was going to leave the rest to be just surprises. So if my answers are shitty and not very well constructed, then you know why. So anyway, let's get started. I'm going to start with the earliest and then go all the way down to some questions I got today. So first is from Quackenstein Monster. Two questions. First being, which I have asked before, how is your vision doing? Well, let's just say it's been a lot better. I don't know if you can see my eyes, but this one, my left eye, is a worse for wear. Anyway, it's the K-Pro, the plastic cornea, has given me glaucoma in this eye, so now I can't see anything out of it. If I do this, I see just as much as if I do this. And in this eye, it actually hasn't been too bad. It hasn't gotten a whole lot worse, but it hasn't gotten any better. But, I'm still able to play video games for the internet, so that's good, because there's still a lot of games I want to play. I mean, heck, I already have my Halloween Let's Play prepared, but I still have to beat the game. Anyway, moving along, a lot of questions. So, my vision, believe me, could be doing better. In fact, I remember in my Mega Man 3 Let's Play, I mentioned, oh my god, I got this new thing on my eyeball, and I can see everything. It's so great being able to sit way back and not worry, yada yada. Sometimes it's just a little disheartening to hear, the glory days of ArmagideonTime, being able to see everything. But you know what? Don't lose hope, because I can still see, and I'm still going to keep playing. And the second question is, why you haven't been on more of the List Critics episodes? Well, there was one time, actually there might have been two times. Maybe NecroVMX can better answer that question, but I got like a bump or something on there. It's itchy. I was supposed to be on, I forget if it's one or two, but one definitely comes to mind, episode of the List Critics where I was supposed to be on there, and it was a Saturday night. We were supposed to record it, and he said, yeah, you're going to be here at this time, and I said, yeah, as usual. But I decided instead to have a couple drinks with some friends and not tell him. It was a horrible, horrible move on my part. Bad friend move. Bad move, dude. And I apologize profusely for it. I made a Castlevania video all dedicated to it while I was still somewhat inebriated. It's called Let's Apologize to NecroVMX. Go check it out. And so after that, he was kind of like, understandably, he was like, maybe I'll get somebody else who I know will always show up, always be there on time, always be, more reliable, more suited to the task of, just plugging one out for a good couple hours. And I said, I know, I understand, I'm sorry, this is what's got to happen, then it's what's got to happen. But NecroVMX, if you're watching this, I'd like to be on another episode sometime. Like, even if it's just a one-time thing, man, I love just listening to them, and I love answering some of those silly lists that come in, just, giving my 2 cents, throwing them in, seeing what sticks. So, there you go. I was being a jerk. Being a jerk, you pay the price. So there you go. Next we have from Rancid's Co, or Rancid's KO. What's your favorite fighting game character? Well, it's usually the one with the easiest moves to remember. quarter circle forward, punch, quarter circle back, kick. I'm talking about Ryu or Ken from Street Fighter. He's always been my go-to guy in those games, just because, I don't know, his moves are really easy to remember. They're always the same, but I don't know, I like people who can just throw projectiles. But in terms of other fighting games, I know in the Soul Calibur 2 I like to Link, just because I'm a sucker for Zelda, so I would always pick Link as my guy, and I kind of forced myself into getting good with him. Before that, my favorite character was Ivy, because she had the cool whip sword. And no other reason, believe me. But yeah, the cool whip sword. Other fighting games, Killer Instinct, I like Fulgore, because he's got cool easy combos to remember. Clay Fighter, I like the Blob, because I like just watching him do all the funny animations. But there you go. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's best as I can give you, I suppose. Not like, who is your favorite fighting character who can do super EX combo, super hyper upper durker. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Next we have Hey from Kazareth Studios, makers of Chronicles of a Dark Lord, Episode 1, Tides of Fate, and soon to be Episode 2, War of the Abyss. Pre-order now. 3 questions from our team. Number 1, are you going to get a PC sometime in the near future? I need a new computer, that's for sure, because this thing that I'm using to record with right now, I can already feel it. It's starting to get hot. Just like the ladies. I don't know. Terrible joke. But if I do have to get a new PC, then I would be looking forward to playing some of your lovely products that are featured for the PC, like Chronicles of Dark Lord. But if I get a Mac, I will try my damnedest to be able to get it to work. But right now, this thing, I can't even record the Binding of Isaac for it because it just slows it down so much. It's very frustrating. Anyway, I'm thinking sometime this year I want to get a new computer. Not sure if it'll be Mac or PC, but you guys will definitely find out. Maybe I could do like the reveal kind of thing, an unboxing. Next, what are your thoughts on the Xbox One so far and the resulting public backlash? Sorry, just a little stuffy in this room. I can't open the window because it's broken, or the grating is broken. Xbox One, not a fan of some of the ideas they have planned, like not backwards compatible. But I guess what they're going for with that is people will still keep their 360s because I guess games that you downloaded for Xbox Live are also non-transferable, unlike the Wii U, where they are transferable, which is actually a pretty cool idea. What else do people say it sucks about it? Oh, the whole your friends can't borrow your games because you have to pay some small fee or whatever. Yeah, that's kind of a deterrent, but I'm of the old ways of video games, back when there were cartridges and Betamax tapes. So, I don't know, maybe this is just the way gaming is eventually going to go. Like, I know what the PS4 is doing with their whole, you can record and upload and have people, stream and have, a chat going on. That stuff is cool. But again, these are just ideas. I don't even know if this stuff is already hardwired into the Xbox system, or if it's just some software managing that they can eventually change because of public outcry. I don't even know what the price tag is yet. The E3 hasn't even started. It's all about the games. When it comes down to it, it's a video game system. It should be a video game system. Although the Microsoft presentation made it more look like, here's, your new TV remote, Xbox, ESPN. I don't care about sports. And a lot of hardcore gamers don't really care about sports, except for the hardcore sports fans, who have fantasy leagues. Fantasy football leagues for a video game. They'll run the video game, they'll do let the computer versus the computer, and they'll actually use that. Oh my god. I have to take my eye drops after this. My left eye is, oof, it's running ragged. But as for my opinions on the Xbox, I know it's this is a very soft opinion. And I hadn't really planned a good answer for this. So the best I can say is, I don't know, I've never really been a supporter of Microsoft Xbox. They haven't really had a lot of games that I've wanted, so I've never bought. I still don't have a Wii U because they don't have any games that I wanted. Maybe down the road I'll get an Xbox One. I don't know. Probably not, though. I'll probably end up getting a PS4. Probably before I even get a Wii U, because the Wii U lineup, it's a little weak. You got New Super Mario Bros. U, and that's about all I'm interested in. Nintendo Land, but there you go. I don't really have a strong opinion one way or another. It is fun to watch people's over reactions to the Xbox One, though. Those are funny to watch. And 3, sorry, I got to scroll down here. Are you aware that upside down bagels are evil? And if so, are you prepared for the resulting world domination by the upside down bagel army and their allies, the inside out donuts? I don't know where you acquired this information, but this man happened to be wearing maybe a tinfoil hat, or perhaps just utter some gibberish, selling used babies outside of his I don't know, Trans Am, the back of his Trans Am or something, because I don't even know, like, I am 12 and what is this? I don't even, you know what I mean? So, actually, I just had a bagel, and when I put it, just regular cream cheese, none of that fancy, put berries in it cheese. And I did have about half of it upside down, like, the more toasty part on the top, because that's how I like to eat it sometimes. And I didn't really notice anything bad. I don't know, maybe later on I'll do one of these. And then, something evil will happen. Maybe the seed of evil has already been planted. Wasn't that a Turok game? Remember Turok the dinosaur hunter? Seed of evil. Nintendo 64. Go play now. Play it loud. So no, I am not aware, Kazar Studios, of how just how evil the upside down bagel is, or the inside out donut. To be honest, those sound like sex positions, and I am actually a little scared. Moving on. Final Limits 1 has a couple questions. What is your favorite Final Fantasy villains from all the FF games you played? Okay, so all of the Final Fantasy games I've played. Favorite villains. This is a hefty question. I don't know, from Final Fantasy 1, Chaos, I guess, just because he looks kind of badass for an 8-bit villain. Final Fantasy 2, I don't remember that well because I didn't like it, so I can't forward my opinion. Final Fantasy 3, I only played on the DS version, and I also don't remember that one very well, other than I liked making everybody red mages, just so I could get shit done easily. Sorry, just my eyeballs. My eye! Well, just this one, really. This one, totally fine. But, when one's sore, the other one kind of reacts in some way. So, let's see. Final Fantasy 4. I don't know. Mild spoilers. I liked how Kain kept betraying you, in a sense. So he was kind of a cool villain in the sense that he was like, I'm good, no, I'm bad, no, I'm good, no, I'm bad. The double, triple, quadruple cross, and I don't know, I just like that. There's something about that in the game. When I first saw it, I'm like, this is a thing? People can do that? But I was a kid, so it was quite an eye-opener anyway. So, Final Fantasy V, I don't remember it very well, except that the lead guy's name is Butts, or Bartz, I guess. I never actually played through it. I should, though. I should really give it an honest chance, because I kind of like the job system. Final Fantasy VI, you got Kefka. I mean, come on. He's he's evil in the sense that he's just so maniacally batshit crazy that he has to die. By the end of the game, he has to die. You have to kill him, otherwise existence itself will cease. And we can't have that now, can we? How can you make a monument to non-existence? That's something that's always kind of, you can't, it would be like in Paper Mario, if there was a section that was just like, somebody cut something out of the world, and that would be a monument. You can't make a monument to something that doesn't exist. What would it look like? It can't exist. But he's still cool because his brain would just come up with weird concepts like that. And he was pretty much a god. You have to kill a god, and that's pretty cool. Final Fantasy VII. What villains did I like in Final Fantasy VII? I suppose I like Shinra. Just like the whole corrupt company, just evil corrupt company that you kind of are forced to deal with because they're the ones supplying energy to everybody. But I don't know. I kind of like that concept too for a video game. You have to take down the giant, big, like taking down big Mako energy. Taking down big Mako, however you pronounce it. But I don't like, what's his name? The one-winged angel guy. Sephiroth. Yeah, see, I can't even, his name doesn't even roll off my tongue like does a lot of people. Just, I don't know, I didn't really find him that, I couldn't feel the pathos, or I didn't feel any strong, I didn't feel negativity towards him. I was just like, oh, come on, stop talking. Your mom this, your mom that, and we're the same, and I'm just like you, and brothers in battle, It'd be kind of like when Liquid Snake would talk to Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid, the first one, which I'm playing through on the PSP, and it's very fun. Sorry, Necro. VMX. Yeah, no, it's not your favorite thing. Let's see, Final Fantasy VIII sucks, so I don't care. I don't know, that the weird lady woman that tries to kill everything. I don't even know the whole story other than it's a shitty love story, and it just really pisses me off. Final Fantasy IX, I haven't even gotten through the first disc, but I always like playing it, and for some reason I always end up starting back at the start just because I want to experience everything that I've experienced before. And so I've never become too familiar with any of the super evil lead villain. Like, I don't even know who the main serious villain is in 9, let alone 8. Final Fantasy X, Sin is a super cool idea, and the whole, spoiler alert, the whole, Jecht, Titus's dad being, like being Sin, and the whole Yu Yevon and everything. It's kind of silly that you can kill it with a... Oh, how do you kill Yu Yevon easily? Is it a Phoenix Down, I think? It might be a Phoenix Down. But you can kill it with like a healing item of some kind. Like one hit, pew, you win the game. But Sin is a cool idea. The story, the concept of Final Fantasy X was cool. Kind of linear. The voice acting was kind of... Just remember the laughing scene. For any of those that know Final Fantasy X, just remember the laughing scene. There you go. You're welcome. Ha 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 ha. Final Fantasy 11 is online, so whatever. 12 I own, but I own the special edition. So that means I just get a bonus disc of remember these games? And I didn't play through that one all that much because I find the menus hard to read. So it took, like, not impossible, but just difficult to read. So it took me a lot longer to get around, and the map is huge, and everything is huge, and these weird lines that kind of cross and intersect on the playing field is kind of hard to see. Not impossible again, but still difficult. So I didn't play through it enough to get to know any of the villains. Excuse me. Man, I do have to get that window fixed. It is stuffy in here. So anyway, that was a long question. Who were your favorite wrestlers from the time you started watching wrestling? Okay. So I don't like wrestling anymore. But I used to love it in the early 90s, probably throughout the 1990s. Maybe a little bit of the late 80s. Yes, I'm old. 30 years old. So, let's see. Some of my favorites: Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Bret Hart was probably my number one fave. And I didn't even know he was Canadian until long after I liked him. Because I liked the figure four. The sharpshooter. I like the sharpshooter move. I kind of like the whole putting his legs in a pretzel and then... I liked his theme song. That bam, 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 bam. It's kind of how it starts. Sounds all metal. And then it gets silly. Who else did I like? I'm trying to develop some wrestler cred here with some of the more obscure ones. The Mounties I thought were kind of cool because it was like, hey, Canadians. Even though there were a lot of other wrestlers who were Canadian, a lot of them, these guys were like, their gimmick was that they were Canadian. Or the Quebecers. Yeah, those were pretty funny. But I don't know. I didn't like Steve Austin. I thought his gimmick was old the moment it started. And I don't really pay attention to anybody these days, so I don't even know who's the leader, who's the bad guy, other than Razor Ramon, the bad guy. So there's that. Oh my god. Why does Final Fantasy VIII get a lot of hate? Because it's a shitty game. Where, like, the one part that really got to me was having to extract magic from enemies. Like, that's how you gather up your magic. The card game sucked. I preferred the card game in Final Fantasy IX. But I just didn't want to play the one in 8. And I don't know how does everybody in the entire world play the same card game? It's so weird. It's so weird. The character, I didn't like the character models. Like, I thought the whole, we're trying to look like real anime people was kind of, it was a little jarring, I guess. But I guess I was used to the whole chibi look, or, from past Final Fantasy games like 6, 7, or 5, 4, I suppose. I guess all of them up till 8. So I know you gotta accept change, but when I saw it, I didn't really care for the look. I just didn't care for it, that's all. It's not I didn't like change, it's just I didn't like how it looked. And whenever you do magic, it takes like 10 years for the magic spell to happen. I don't know if that's skippable, but if it is, I never knew. The story is boring. I played through it enough. Like, I didn't get past the first disc, of course, because that would have been silly if I got further in 8 than I did in 9. But I got far enough where I said, this is enough, and I still own it, because if I end up finally beating 9, eventually I'm going to want to play through 8, to experience it myself, and then maybe I'll have a different opinion once I do all 4 discs. But until then, I really don't like 8. I don't like the feel, I don't like the look, I don't like just how drawn out, literally and figuratively, the gameplay is. I suppose it's not really literally, it's just drawn out as in drawing the magic. Man, that was a long answer. Nintendo Fanboy 1988 says, are you a French Canadian? Non, mais je sais seulement un petit peu de français, mais c'est seulement au 8e année. Et après ça, then I would just take French classes. So, but I was in French immersion until 8th grade. So every single class other than English was in French. Even recess was sometimes in French. Or at least, that's how it was at first. Have you ever been to the United States? Yes. I've been there. The first time I remember is, let's see, Disney World. Disney World in, oh god, I don't even remember the year. But I know Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp had been out because we went to an arcade at Disney World, and I remember seeing the giant casing for Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp. doing the time warp again. Let me think. So yeah, I went there. I also remember playing Ninja Gaiden on a arcade system, which was kind of strange, but I'd never played Ninja Gaiden before, and it was hard as balls. And went on rides and stuff. Saw Mickey. My brother got scared of the man in the costume, but I was still young enough where I was like, yeah, Mickey's cool. I'll sit on his lap. It's like a Santa Claus thing. Whatever. He could do no harm to me. My parents are right there. So I've also been to Florida again for a goalball tournament in Jacksonville, and that was cool, I guess. Just a sec. All right, we're actually heading out soon to go do some grocery shopping, so I will cut back to you with the rest of my questions and answers. So until then.